hello everyone, and welcome to Lipedema Wellness Conversations with Gail, me, and my friends. And my friends today are Sherry Simmons. Hi, Sherry. She's from Southern Florida. Can you believe it? I'm from Podunk. Well, no, Boise, Idaho, not Podunk, Idaho. And she's from Southern Florida, and we're getting together. My other guest tonight is Bertha Johnson, and she's from Southern Florida. They live within 20 minutes of each other. Can you believe it? Two of my Florida ladies right here with me. And I'm going to we're going to talk a little bit about their journey and about how they found out that they have lipedema and what their experience has been in being part of a group, being part of a support team. So I'm not sure who wants to go first, but which one of you would like to go first? Tell us how you found out you had lipedema.
I could go first.
Okay, Bertha, you do that.
In 2020, I was on my virtual book club meeting, and it lasted a little long, like over 2 hours. And I got up, go to the bathroom, and I had to pass out. And come to find out, I had blood clots. And went to the hospital. They tested me for COVID, didn't have COVID. Found out I had blood clots. And then the doctor told me, "Do you know you have lipedema?" And I had no concept what that was. Totally, I never heard it before. And that's how I found out.
Wow. So it was like a roundabout way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's amazing. And then what happened? What happened when you found out?
Well, I came home and I was discussing it with my daughter. We live within 10 minutes of each other. And she got on the computer and she started looking it up. And she came up with your organization. And she
Wow.
said, "You should check this out." And I did. And here I am.
And here you are. And you've been with us for 2 years.
Yes.
Yes.
Mhm.
That's amazing, Bertha. And Sherry, how did you find out?
Well, my story is a little bit of a longer scenario.
Can you move closer to your device so I can hear you better?
I had a hysterectomy that in 2015 that was supposed to make me feel all better. All my problems resolved. And it worked. In 2015, I was diagnosed with Burkitt's disease. And that led me to another doctor who then said, "Well, yeah, you do have Burkitt's disease, but in addition to that, you have lipedema and lymphedema." And I walked out of the office that day with no plan of any kind, just the knowledge that I had for diseases.
Sherry,
Yes.
we are having a really hard time hearing you. Your voice is very thin sounding. So
Maybe I just closer, that might help.
um it's somewhat better, yeah. So go ahead.
Okay, so from 2017 on, I've known that I've had Burkitt's, lipedema, and lymphedema. No one gave me any direction, no treatment, nothing like that. I had the knowledge that I had these problems. And it wasn't until I found a doctor at the Florida, meeting with Dr. Celeste, he was able to help me get a flexi touch pump and other things. So my journey started with a Durkheim's disease doctor just randomly telling me you have lipedema and lymphedema.
And no help whatsoever. Just the information.
None. It wasn't until 2021 when I met Dr. Celestin and she got me
manual lymphatic drainage started, a Flexi Touch pump, and at home for me, and I'm trying to think what else. She's the one that taught me about doing your own MLD at home. It wasn't until her that I had any direction at all. And then I found you guys simply by, there were a few free webinars that I joined up to attend. And then I heard about your October event for last year. And I said, you know what? I need more. I need to know something about this. I need some direction because I'm so tired of feeling as awful as I do every day. And I joined Tribe right then and there on
Yeah,
Sunday. And
I
I've been
remember.
active in Tribe right away. I slipped into doing Miranda and have been an active member there. And honestly, I had lost a lot of joy in reading or crafting or any of those things that I found, peace and joy and love in doing. And you guys and your groups and stuff are what's got me reading again and what's got me exercising again and what has me doing crafting again. There's a table set up next to me with Halloween stuff that I'm crafting and doing. I didn't have any of that actively in my life until I got you guys, Tribe, became a Tribe member. It's
Yeah,
been it's changed my life in a lot of ways.
yeah. Isn't it interesting about with Tribe? We all have lipedema. We're all learning about it. It's all about education. But with Tribe, it's about the holistic approach. And part of that holistic approach is finding our inspiration and letting our creative selves be there and finding our light. Because so many of us for so long have hurt, haven't felt good for so long that we're just like done. Right. And so I am so glad that you brought that up, because you have been a member of our tribe for a year. You came in, boom, you were right there going, okay, I'm here. And the women in the tribe just went and put their arms around you and off we go, because that's what the tribe does. And Bertha, when you joined the tribe, how did that go for you?
Well, I joined around the time for Heart to Heart, which absolutely the first one I joined, I didn't miss 1 second of it. I thought it was the most wonderful thing in the whole world. I learned so much. It was, to me, it was so much fun just to be there and talk with the other ladies. And I like when you broke us up into little groups and I get to talk with the ladies and they gave me information and they encouraged me. It was just great. Just great. I love
Yeah.
it. I'm looking forward to the next one.
Oh, and the next one in. And I do want to tell people we did not pay you guys to say this.
No.
But so many of us have had so much fun and with the Heart to Heart, I'm actually going to give us our the link. We have a Heart to Heart coming up in September, which is just right around the corner. It's September 27th, 28th, and 29th. And that is not the price. Let me make a change as I put that in the comments. I have them that it's $197, but it isn't. It's $147. So don't you be believing anything you see on your screen right now. I got to make that change so you can see it. So it's $147. Our early bird special just ended, and mid-August. Let me change that. And so it's $147. And I would have to say that it's probably the best $147 that I've ever spent, because of the interaction. If you think about it, at $147, that's $50 a day. It's a 3-day event. There are experts. The experts that are going to be there are Dr. Roxon, Dr. Perrin, Dr. Nicholson. We have Leslyn, Siobhan. Lisa, Catherine, Dr. Carmody. We have the lipedema mamas are showing up. We have a patient panel. We have a surgery panel who are going to be there. We have pain managers who are going to be there. It's going to be amazing. The great thing about the Heart to Heart is it's not just like any other old symposium where you show up and you listen and then you go away with like, oh, okay, that was that weekend. You show up and then you get involved. You get to play with us, right? You get to break out into breakout rooms. You get to spend time with each other. You get to listen to a professional or an expert speak, and then you go discuss it, just like you do at a regular conference. And so our Heart to Hearts, we call them a Heart to Heart event because it is not like anything else that you have ever experienced online. Now, that's my plug. So I told Bertha and Sherry, I have to promote one thing. I have to promote the Heart to Heart. So, and what was it? What the first thing they did? They promoted the Heart to Heart because they have been involved. And I'm looking at the people who are on our call right now. And I know that some of you guys have been on the Heart to Heart before. Some of you have been heart guides. Sherry and Bertha have both been heart guides before. And, we don't know who's going to be heart guides this time, but heart guides are there. They go into the breakout rooms. They make sure everybody feels comfortable. It's a whole different level of camaraderie that happens when you break out into a group of 4 or 5 other people who have lipedema and who have that experience. So it's kind of like what Sherry and Bertha are doing with me right now. We're just having a conversation. So it's quite an amazing event. So if you get a chance, make sure that you sign up. If by chance $147 just isn't in your budget, which I know these times are tight, right? I mean, it's tight. For some of us, $147, we go, okay, and then we can afford it. But others are going, I don't know if I can afford it. Please reach out to us. Reach out to our support. It's called, let me get that up there. Here it is. It's support at lipedema-simplified.org. If you reach out to us, Catherine Sayo, our CEO and founder of Lipedema Simplified, or Isla, our operations manager, will get back in touch with you and they'll discuss the possibility of a scholarship. So please make sure that you do not let your finances keep you from attending this Heart to Heart. If you are a tribe member, send an email to support@lipedema-simplified.org and they will make sure that you get your tribe discount. Because tribe members, that's our membership group. Bertha and Sherry are both in that group. And because they pay for a tribe membership, they get a membership discount. So make sure that you reach out to support@lipedema-simplified.org. I'm going to go ahead and drop that into the chat as well. So that's how you guys discovered us. That's what you did with us. So tell me about this journey. What do you find to be? Hold on a minute. I have a question we're going to ask. But what do you find to be your challenge, your biggest challenges? Whoever wants to go first, or do you want me to pick a name? Alphabetically, Bertha.
Will you repeat the question, please?
What do you find to be your biggest challenge with lipedema?
My biggest challenge is I think one of the ladies on question and answer said, is to really find a doctor. My primary doctor knows nothing. I teach her. I bring things up to her. I tell her things. I show her things. I have even on the group I belong to, medical group for my primary doctor, we have the doctor's email and number, and I will email her all the time. If I find an article or something I want her to see, I just email it to them. It could be one of the chats that you had, or something that you have when Catherine come on, and there's something I want her to know. I just send it to her. Now, whether she reads it all, I don't know, but I will send it to her so
So
that
you
she's finding a doctor that has the information and understanding of what you're going through.
so then you feel like you have to educate your doctor.
Exactly.
So you first had to find a doctor that was receptive.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's not always easy either.
No, it's not, you know. And I wish there was more out there who knew about it and could really give me the help. Because like Sherry was saying, we did have one doctor at Cleveland Clinic, and she's no longer in our area.
Wow. So then what do you do when they're no longer there? Because they have lives too, right?
Yes.
Doggone them.
Well, she moved out of state, and I was like, oh boy. So when she starts her practice, Sherry and I are going to go out to her.
Okay, so you guys have teamed up then, right?
And
Yes,
guess
that's
what? We're
been one
lucky enough
great.
that it's in Vegas.
Yeah, I know, we'll practice. Look, we're going to
It'll
go
be,
out.
such a difficult trip for us to have to do.
Oh, I know.
Yes.
Yeah, you guys are going to have to road trip it, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
We're going to get
Or
So none of you will know anything. No.
well, that's for sure. So I'm actually going to drop the provider directory into our chat because Lipedema project does have a provider directory. This is not a complete directory. This is a directory that was created by the community of doctors that they have found, or providers. They could be lymphatic therapists as well, things like that they have found. So it was created by the community. So let's if you have a doctor you like, let's put him in this directory. And all you have to do is you just have to reach out to support at lipedema-simplified.org to get a doctor put in the directory. Sherry, I want to share a question from Nancy. Nancy Smith says, "What are they like? I have never been. Just got diagnosed with lymphedema this year." And then she continues, "I would love to go and see this. Can you find people that live near you in the conference?" So tell me a little bit. We hold these conferences, right? And we have these breakout rooms, and we find people that we connect with there, correct? But something else happened this year, and you found people that live near you. Right?
Yes.
How did that
I
happen?
found someone that lived near me through one of the conferences, actually probably about 40 minutes away. And it was the daughter of someone else who has Durkheim's disease and who has lipedema. And we invited her, Bertha and I, to bring her mother and join us when we held our June Lipedema Awareness Month meetup near where Bertha lives in Tamarack. And her and her mom came. And she likes to be called Sunshine. And she has such a personality and a color. She has a color. She wears turquoise every day.
That's so
And
cool.
she was fabulous. And we had a great time with her and her daughter, educating them both. And the crazy thing was, she said, even though doctors have told me I have lipedema, I'm not sure I really believe them. Can we go to the bathroom and can I show you my legs? What was I going to say? No. So of course
No.
I said, yeah, I'll come look at your legs. And we were in the bathroom, and this woman dropped her pants to her ankles and showed me her legs. And I don't think she's in denial anymore. I told her my belief, my non-medical, I don't have any kind of degree in that field, but I can tell you that you most definitely, without any doubt in my mind, have lipedema. And I'm so glad you came today so that we could educate you more and tell you all about Lipedema Simplified. And maybe hand you some stuff and some information that you can leave with here today to take to your providers that might help you in your journey with all of this now that you believe me.
Yeah.
So you never know what's going to happen, but it was great to like just locally sit together and hold hands and hug on each other, and even have her daughter say, you know, my legs are starting to look like my mom's. And to
Yeah.
catch her early on, that she might have awareness and understanding and can start putting some of the treatment options in place and just learn. It was great. It was wonderful. And I know Bertha had a fabulous time too, didn't you,
Oh,
Bertha?
Yes,
I saw pictures of you guys. You guys look like you were having a blast.
and you know
Mm-hmm.
what? It was really a wonderful afternoon. It was so much fun and joy, and we laughed and we ate and we just hugged, like she said, hugged on each other. And then they said, when are we going to meet again? We can't wait all the way to June to meet again. And so we're going to
Right.
meet in September.
Oh, nice.
Mhm.
Nice.
Get up
So
and meet in September. So we kind of plan to meet a couple of times a year, and it's just keep it going.
that's nice. I know that
Mm-hmm.
we know we have lipedema. Like Sunshine knew she had lipedema, but she wasn't sure she had lipedema. Even people told her that she had lipedema. She wanted someone with lipedema to tell her, "Yeah, baby, that's lipedema." And I had that same experience.
Mm.
Um but I was on the flip side. So I was thinking I had lipedema. Catherine said, "Oh yeah, sure, you've got lipedema." And so there I was, knowing I had lipedema, self-diagnosed, right? And not thinking too much about it, but knowing full well that that I could that I could just tell my doctors that I had it. And then I got to thinking, well, if I'm telling my doctors I have it, do I really have it? Right? So then I went and physically actually saw Catherine. In 2022, we were out on doing Keto Fest together, which there I go. I go out to Catherine's house, do Keto Fest with her. Didn't think too much about it. And Siobhan was there. And I said, do you guys think I have lipedema? I've only been involved for 2 years. And I'm like, do you guys think I have lipedema? And they're going, let me feel you. And they're on my arms and my legs. Well, yeah, you have it. Okay. I still didn't believe I had lipedema. I knew it
Mm.
and I knew it and I knew it, but I was questioning it. Weird, right? And then this thing came out, and it was called this last year. It's called the Roadmap for Diagnosing Lipedema
Mm.
by the Lipedema Project. And I put the links in the comments. And you know those pictures that you see and you go, oh, those are my legs,
Mm.
right?
Yes.
Or, oh, those that's me right there. Well, it was me. It's a picture of Gail Straker in this handout. I mean, not only do I have lipedema, but I actually exhibited enough that the powers that be that know everything about lipedema used one of my pictures. That was like, here's a
Mm-hmm.
picture of Gail, because it's got my tattoo, it's got my haircut, it's got I stand crooked, it's got everything about me. Hey, that's my bathing suit bottom. And I'm like, okay, I believe you. it took, I mean, the denial was so great. It's weird.
Acceptance is hard, but when you see yourself there as like being a poster child, it's kind of hard not to accept at that point.
It's like the poster child for lipidema. So anyway, I put this diagnostic page, this one-page diagnosis guide. We love it because we call it the one-pager. Simple. Such a nice thing to have, a one-pager. I put it in the links or the comments. One side is for you. Fill it out. Look it over. Talk to your spouse, your lover, your dog, your next door neighbor, whoever you trust. Say, do you agree with this? These are questions that we ask ourselves. Things like, if you buy a pair of pants, do you have to buy 2 sizes up to get your hips and thighs in it, and then you have to take the waist in? When you buy a shirt, do you try it on with your left arm first? If your left arm doesn't go in it, then you don't buy the shirt. Those sorts of things. And do you swell now, or so there's questions and pictures and things like that on one side. That's for you. Turn it over, read the other side, and it's for your clinician.
Gail, we
It's
really
Perfect.
needed that while we had our thing in June, because Sherry and I were looking at ladies that passed us, and we had saw at least a half a dozen ladies that we could tell, right? They said, "Oh my God, look at her." We would look at each other, and they
Right.
would pass. And I don't believe they knew. A lot of them were younger women too, that this is what's going on with them.
And it's true. And this one pager, I think, is one of the most powerful things that Lipedema Simplified has created. All these things are gifts to the community. This beautiful gift will actually lead you to like the case definition of what lipedema is, which is a long 10-page document. But who has time to print off a 10-page document, take it to their doctor, and then trust that their doctor's going to read it? But a one-pager, where you're on one page and they're on the other, you can take it in and say, look, this is what I've got. Sit down with me for 5 minutes. And so we found that the one-pager is very, very useful tool for us. And I hope that you guys grab that, because you and Sunshine and Sunshine's daughter are going to get together again in September, right? Have these, print them out. So print them out, send out links, share this. Everybody needs to share this, because by sharing the information, that's how we get other people to know about lipedema. The more we know, the more we share, the more our doctors are going to go, okay, this is a force to be reckoned with. We need to get this in the medical training. And that's the problem. People have to be trained in this. How do we get doctors to get trained in it? And I think that level has to go up. We can't just tell doctors, you got to learn about this. They have to hear about it from other doctors.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We don't, unfortunately, even though the wisdom, as Dr. Carmody says, is with us, the patient, right? Not
Right.
every doctor believes that, unfortunately. Our
Right.
lives would be so much easier if they did. So having something that was written by doctors for doctors gives us as patients clout when we sit down to talk to them about it. And we
Yeah.
have this paper that, like you said, is one page for them, one page for us, where they will take a couple minutes and at least scan it.
Right. Right.
And we'll have, a backing of legitimacy for what we're saying and
Right.
what parts of our body we're pointing at, going, look at this and look at this.
And we have a clinician to clinician portion of our website, because we're aware of that. We have Dr. Matthew Carmody, who is our medical advisor, and he was Catherine's primary care physician for years, for decades. He is retired, and so he does work with us, But one of the things he says is you got to hear about it from a doctor, or you have to hear about it from some professional, because he believes the wisdom's in the patient. He tells us the wisdom is in the patient, but not everybody does. Exactly what you said, Sherry. And so, as wise as we can get, and I will tell you, those of us with a chronic condition or illness, regardless of what it is, we study. We find out as much information. We don't just sit back. So all of us with lipedema are out there searching for answers all the time. And that's what makes it special.
Last month, I had from my insurance company, they send a doctor here to do an at-home visit.
Mm-hmm.
And so I sent him away with material. And I said, the very next patient you see that look like this, you tell them to scan the code on there so they can go to the website.
Right.
I hope he did. I really did. Hope that he took my advice and would share it, because I'm sure if he's going home to home, he's going to meet other women who or might think they have it. Give them one of the cards. Let them scan it. Let them investigate for themselves.
Right. Right. Well, and here's the thing, there's such an anti-fat bias. We're always afraid to say, "Oh, honey, I think you've got lipedema," and then because it means we've looked at them and we've judged their legs, right? Which is pretty harsh, because we don't want anybody looking at us and judging our legs or our body. But aren't we grateful somebody said something? But then we have to go through all that turmoil about they saw me, they looked at me, there's just so much commotion in our emotions about it.
Like
And
a
it's
catch-22.
Yeah. So I find that one of the things that I do is I will tell people I have lipedema. I did it this weekend. I actually sat down with one of the I was at a conference, one of the bigger people at the conference. She's a music judge, and she's really high up in the organization, in the Sweet Adeline organization. And I sat down with her, and I started talking to her about it, and she started getting a little weepy on the corners of her eyes. And I grabbed her hands and I said, "It's okay. Go ahead and feel my arms." And that's what it feels like inside. And she's like, "Oh." And then she gave me her arm, and I felt her arm. And I said, "Yeah, I feel those." She goes, "And all across my chest." And she goes, "And my legs." And she put her little leg, I say, her little leg, it was her leg. It was her leg, and not necessarily little. And I just slowly, just gently rubbed her leg, and she just sat there and cried. She goes, "They always hurt." So I was able to meet with somebody that I've known for a long time, but she's like much higher in the organization than I am. So I had to say, "This is what I'm dealing with." And someone,
Wow.
it's hard, but it opens up things. It opens up wide avenues if you can have a gentle conversation with somebody. And that's the thing. It needs to be gentle, because we're all so fragile. I mean, every single one of us, right? We're so used to hearing the negative about ourselves, and we need to bring this to the world in a positive light. We really do. It's heavy, but it's positive and it's good work. So I really appreciate that.
Right, like just walking up to someone and handing them a postcard or that paper and saying, I have lipedema and I think you do too. Here, take a look at this. I mean, how well would you receive
No.
something like that from somebody? And be
I
like,
just,
excuse me, back
see,
away, thank you.
I'd call you a bitch. That's what I call you. I'd flip you a finger and, because I want to hear it.
Right. So it's hard to do that. Like Bertha was saying, with how many women we saw even when we were there. And her and I have gotten together since then. We went shopping together one afternoon. And because, luckily we found out through Lipedema Simplified that we live so close to each other.
Right.
And we did the same thing. She would nudge me, or I would grab an arm and go like that towards someone, and she'd look at me, and we'd both like nod our heads in agreement that we believe that person has it. But it's hard just in a department store to walk up to someone and be like, yo.
Yeah, you just
Yeah.
can't do it. And so as often as we can get online and we can spread our love and spread what we know and share it with our doctors and share it with our physical therapists, our hairdressers, get things printed out, have it around, then it's not, then a person can look at it and go, oh, that's my mom, or or my wife. My wife want to see this. I know that like with Lisa's story is that her stepmom said, you might want to take a look at this. I think this is what's going on with your legs. But because Lisa was having to not go, Lisa was not going to be able to go on vacation with them because she was losing her mobility. And so they weren't going to go on vacation. And then her stepmom said, okay, I think read this. I think this is what is going on with you. So we have to find very gentle ways. Sometimes it can't be, sometimes it can't be in person. It has to be like on the sly. Like I go through and put things in places where I think, oh, someone will find this, it'll help. But the more we can spread the word, the better we are for people. And the more we advocate for ourselves, the more we're advocating for others.
I like to say that in the recent month and a half, I've had 3 ladies call me and ask me about it. And it's only because I started talking to some of my neighbors about it. They don't have it, but they see me walking, they see me with the cane, and they ask me a question. So I explain what's going on with me. And they said they think someone else has it. And is it all right if that person calls me? If they mention it to that person to call me. So I've had 3 different ladies to call me within the last month and a half.
That's marvelous,
And
Bertha.
the other 2 ladies who
Absolutely.
don't have it realized one of them came up to me by the elevator and she said, what is the name of that disease you have? And I said it. She says, I really believe that so and so have it. Is it all right if they call you?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
wonderful, Bertha.
That's a testimonial of talking about it. Don't hide it. The more we talk about it, the more the more comfortable it is talking about it, the more you talk about it, right? You get used to it. You have a resource. So it's not like you just blabbing. You're not blabbing and gossiping, right? You have a resource to offer somebody. And that resource it's not like you're getting paid. It's just a
No.
resource that you can use and share information that's valid, right? And that's another thing, getting online and trying to find answers. You never know what you're going to run into. So if you have a trusted resource that you can offer somebody, then they start trusting you. You don't know. I mean, it might be every 2 weeks, Bertha, you better be answering your phone because they're coming.
But
Like Julie Rosa says,
I invited them in September when we meet. So we'll see if they come.
Julie Rosa says there's plenty of us out there, Bertha,
Okay.
which is the truth. It's Julie.
Yes.
And I just want to say hi to some of the people who are here. Julie's here from Camarillo, California. Angela Vitucci's here from La Mesa, California. Jeannie Lewis, I believe she's here from, is that my Jeannie? Yep, she's here from Colorado. Patsy's here. She's from Southwest Arkansas. And Agnes Agnieszka's here from Wales. Hi, Agnieszka. So people come from all over the world for this. You guys, this has been fantastic. Thank you so much for
Absolutely.
being with me today. I have a short and bittersweet announcement to make. This is going to be the last Tuesday broadcast from Gail, Lipedema Wellness Conversations with Gail and Friends. This is the last one. I am grateful that I was able to be here with Bertha and Sherry. What a wonderful pair to share my last broadcast with. I am stepping down from being community manager with Lipedema Simplified at the end of the month. And I have had the best 2-year stint on this particular broadcast. I've been doing it on it every Tuesday for 2 months. Oh, I've taken a couple of them off, but not many. For 2 years, I've had amazing guests. I've had coaches. I've had experts in their fields, and then I've had experts in the community, and that's been my last month has been all been community members. I have been the community manager for over 4 years, and I am moving on to bigger and better things. Like we said, we see people who have lipedema, and we want to reach out to them. I belong to an organization, Sweet Adelines International, of 23,000 women, and which means that about 3,000 of them at least have lipedema. And I'm moving into creating projects to help teach the Sweet Adeline regions and choruses about the accommodations that might need to be made for those with lipedema, and to teach the choruses and the regions that lipedema is a thing and they need to take care of their ladies and give them resources. So I'll be around, but I won't be on my Facebook Lives. And so I'm sad that I'm going to be part of the community, but I won't be a leader in the community anymore. And I am excited to follow my dreams in the next chapter. And I'm giving my love to Sherry and to Bertha because they heard about it about an hour ago. And we haven't cried, but I'm not going anywhere. I'm still going to be part of the community. I'm just not going to be a leader. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Bertha and Sherry because they both are going to say something that a special message, whatever message they have for the audience. I'm opening it up to them to wrap this up.
I want to say what we had already hit on a little bit. Don't be afraid to say it. I was terrified to tell anybody I had it when I first found out. I was ashamed. What did I do? How come I have this? But as I got better by belonging to this group, I started mentioning it to people when they asked me questions. Well, why do you have that cane? And why do you do this? How come you don't come anymore to certain things? And I said, because I can't do that right now. And I explained what was going on with me. And they, in turn, got those other ladies to call me by passing it on. And I think this is how we're going to help each other. And I mentioned to the ladies, I said, make sure now when you go to the doctors to have them put it in your file. I don't care if it's the dentist, the podiatrist, I don't care what kind of doctor it is. Make sure it's documented, because the more people they see who have this, they're going to have to eventually do things with us and for us. So,
and Bertha, I want to add one thing to that. You do not have to have an official diagnosis.
no.
You know that chart that you fill out, and at the bottom it says other. You write in lipedema, and that goes right in your chart. You do not have to have an official diagnosis. You can self-diagnose. I mean, when you have it.
Yes.
So get it in every chart you got.
And get it in. I just went to the dentist 2 weeks ago. And when I said, "Did I tell you?" She said, "Yes, I know." So I thought, okay. All
Good for
right.
you. Yeah, yeah, it's really important. So thank you for that. Thank you for reminding me about that because I spent like 3 months just harping on that. Good for you, Bertha. Sherry, let's wrap this up, okay?
I would like to say congratulations to you, Gail, and to say that I think Bertha and I both are honored to have been your last guests for your
Yes.
show.
Thank you.
And what I would like to tell everyone is to do something that I'm working on, and that's to listen. Listen to yourself, listen to your body, listen to your mind, your heart. It tells you what it needs. It does. I think we ignore it because there's so much noise from everywhere else around us. And we tend to put so much more priority on everything else. But if we're quiet, can actually listen, and our bodies will tell us what they need.
Oh,
I
Sherry.
don't think we do that enough.
Oh, Sherry, that's wonderful. Thank you so much for
Thank
that.
you.
Because you're right. If we don't listen to our bodies, it really starts screaming, doesn't it? It screams at us if we don't listen.
I have one more to say to
Yes,
ladies
Bertha.
who maybe are thinking about joining the group and coming to Heart to Heart. Look, I met Sherry and she's the most wonderful person. And she has been such a wonderful friend. And I enjoy her so much. And it's nice to have somebody who understands what you're going through, and don't have any judgment on you. And we could go and just have a good time. And I think if people join and make connections or try to make connections or reach out to other people, it's just wonderful.
Thank you.
Look at us.
I know. Look at us. And I hope to talk to you guys again really soon. But with that, I'm going to sign off. I love you all. Thank you for being
Love
here.
you too.
Thank you for being here with me.
Bye.
Bye-bye.